apologies there. If you haven't heard us, then we severely apologize here. We forgot to turn on the microphone. Fortunately, we are back in qualifying. Yeah, apologies if you haven't heard our voices again. Carolina Vieira da Silva about to finish her hot lap. 2 minutes of qualifying to go. 207.986 with the fastest lap time being at 206 and 205. And was it really starting to show here in Sepang? 207.018. 2.239 kilometers at the end of the speed trap. Or it's not far behind Da Silva though. 208.2. 1.2 seconds behind Wazif. Olivares is showing his skills, representing Watson Emilia. Brandon McCauley, the Gagura ride finishes his lap. The Rock qualifies a lowly 6th, and I don't think he's going to be able to be at the front. Hanaori Miyuki, though, we also forgot to mention that it's not just Aziz Mwazif's home race, it's also Hanaori Miyuki's home race. We have, at the moment, what looks to be an all-Malaysian front row. Hera Pak completes her lap. She is qualifying in 5th. Another car behind, that's Mercer Lado. And behind him is Raymond Pavo. Lado qualifies 7th. But now Pavo qualifies 7th, bumping Lado down. We're about to see more lap times completed between Emerson Kurt and Muhammad Kashi. Both of them battling out. Kurt is around the outside. And Cashew is on the inside. Cashew is in the championship battle. Emerson Kurt is also technically in the championship battle. Both of them are technically fighting for whatever they have. Emerson Kurt qualifies 4th. Cashew qualifies 11th. Kay Garcia about to finish her lap. She's going to qualify a decent 7th place. Jeremiah is about to finish his lap. 9th for him. What about Tremblay and Sudo? Maurice Tremblay qualifies up front. He has a provisional pole, bumping both Malaysians out of the front row as JC Sudo now takes provisional pole. Monica Shilage, though, now steals pole position with a 206.626. We're about to reach the end of this qualifying session as Shilage still remains on top. Hector Bebe in his first HoloLive GT3 qualifying looks to qualify inside the top 15 positions, and Adak-RMS completes his run. He qualifies 19th, and Aziz Mwazif beats Maurice Tremblay's last time to qualify inside the top 3. Game on for Shilage and Mwazif. The qualifying session's over. The timer ticked down to 0. We're looking at the guys who is basically finished in their qualifying. Like say Brent Lance Oryx, who's currently down to 12th. But don't worry about because his race pace is pretty good. Brandon McCauley qualifies down in 16th. Santi Olivares qualifies up in 6th place. The Rob, though, still the slowest car in qualifying. Hunter Miki finishes her run as well. She qualifies 5th. Hera Pav 9th place. Marcelo gets into the best, as does Raymond Pavo. Emerson Kurt and Muhammad Kashi are about to finish their laps at Sepang International Circuit. I'm gonna need to take a break. My throat needs a break. Let's see what Emerson Kurt can do. Fifth place, he improves, and Cashew improves, bumps Mazzy down to 18th place. Who knew that what we're looking here at the moment, the pole sitter is the ID class championship leader as he will try to finish, and JC Sudo steals pole position of a 206.6. Shilage doesn't improve, and so for JC Sudo, he will have the first pole position for the Crazy Ollie car as it stands at the moment. As we're about to see the final few cars out. Hector Bebe in his first HoloLive GT3 qualifying session looks to be in a very good position. Here's a drag race between the Vieira da Silva and Aziz Mwazif. I don't think Mwazif has improved. Da Silva also hasn't improved either. Mazzy hasn't improved either. Last few cars are about to finish their runs. Lance Oryx doesn't go fastest, And that is your qualifying session. As it stands at the moment, JC Studio has stolen an unlikely pole position. That's an amazing stuff for from the Japanese registered driver. And as you can see here, JC Studio representing Crazy Ollie is in pole position with a 206.600, only 200s faster than Monica Shilage. So here we see JC Studio qualifying in pole position, Monica Shilage in second place. I like this part. Shilage is leading the ID class standings with 200 points, and Maurice Aziz Moazif is currently sitting at only 150. Aziz Moazif is second in the ID standings, and for Maurice Tremblay, he is currently fourth, 108 points back, 108 points earned, only 92 points back from Monica Shilage. So our championship protagonists, first, second, and I believe fourth, are currently inside the top 4 positions, with only GC Sudo being the one who's not really in contention much. But whatever the case is, the ID cards are absolutely showing as well. Lance Orr is also in 5th place. So all 4 of the championship contenders are qualifying inside the top 5. Emerson Kerr and Hanari Miyuki also doing very well for their VTuber that they represent, 6th and 7th. I'm sorry if I have to disappoint you, the Iman. If you are quite disappointed by what you're seeing, this is virtual racing on the Assetto Corsa. We have to apologize for that notion, but this is also for accessibility as well. So we'll talk about that later. Santi Olivares, though, in the Wasamilia Honda, fastest EN class cars. So the EN class cars at the moment might be out of the equation here. Hector Bembe in 9th, Vieira Silva 10th, Harapaf 11th, Kate Garcia 12th in the Vision Z Nissan, Jeremy Assam 13th, Raymond Pava 14th, Marcelo 15th, McConley 16th, Cashew 17th, Aaron Mazzi 18th, and Don DeRob is currently the one who is going to be completing the field of 19 cars who will start this race in round 8 of the Hololive GT3 International Series. I like this part. 7 cars in the ID class will be starting inside the top 7 positions. So it's an ID class dominance, an ID class showcase, a dynasty even if you want. As we're about to get this race underway, 5 red lights are on, or rather 6 red lights are on here in Sepang. We're about to race the first of 37 laps here in Hololive GT3 International here in Sepang. Round 8 has officially got underway. And it looks like here we see Moazif getting a pretty decent run here, and Shilage also having a stocky start in the Lexus. Raymond Pavo tries to go slightly off track, tries to go outside. Oh, as you can see here, Moazif tries to bump Sudo off the line, and now Shilage is now being stuck behind Sudo. Moazif tries to hang it around the outside to try to take the race lead on his own. Moazif steals the race lead from Sudo. After Sudo has blocked down the start once again, Shilage had to be stuck behind Sudo on turn 1. So Shilage is now down to 3rd, Tremblay 4th, Kurt 5th, Oric 6th, Olivares 7th, Hanari Miyuki is 8th, Bembe is 9th, and Vieira Silva rounded up the top 10. The Rob having a stocking start in that Nissan was 19th and is now up to 17th place. Tries to challenge Raymond Pava, and here we see championship leader Juan Cashew battling Marcelo for position. It's Mori Calliope versus Nanashi Mume in turn 6. Gets pushed off wide there a bit there. Ledo, Cashew is up to 13th. Will Cashew made the dive on the inside on Assam as gets pushed off, as you can see here as well. Pava gets pushed on track as well, loses his position from Ledo. Here's a bit where some mayhem is bound to happen. Marcelo and everyone else gets there cleanly. No issues there. Vieira Silva up to 10th place. Cashew down to a few positions. Ledo is up to 12th place. Moazif is consolidating his race lead at the moment. Sudo still hanging on to 2nd place there as it stands at the moment, with Moazif leading the standings and Shilage down to 3rd. Both of them will be tied heading into the ID Cup title decider tomorrow. So this one is definitely one to talk about. As you can see here, Asam going off very slowly here, slowly regaining control of the car. Look at Maurice Tremblay getting down the inside of Monica Shilage. hanging around the inside. It's not going to be the outside line. Shilage has the inside line into turn 1. More positions are being shuffled, as you see here. Trombe really skirting through the edge of the track limits here. Trombe on the offensive here. More battles here, as you can see here. More cars side by side. I think there's a bit of a push between Garcia and Lado. Carapap now up to 10th place, overtakes Vieira da Silva. Vieira da Silva is either she finishes inside the top 5 or out of the points from where she is at the moment. She has a feast or famine season. Very good resume in terms of top 5, but as for the races where she didn't finish inside the top 5, it's a bit miserable. Also, one thing to note, we do mention that the ID cars, sorry, the EN cars, sorry, the EN members of Hololive, especially for HoloMIF, have had the 3D reveals. Lately, we've had Kali and Kiara showcasing their cars, and meanwhile, Emerson Kurt and Lance Oryx, fellow ID class cars, battling out for position, and it looks like Emerson Kurt has the position advantage, and it looks like Oryx is about to be under pressure from Hanori Miyuki, but Hanori Miyuki is not far, well, not close enough there. But the battle is still right between these drivers, as we're now on lap 2 here in Sepang. Still a long way to go, and I think we should warrant a bit of a racefield monitor showcase here at the moment. A lot of these guys feel a bit slightly short here at the moment because they all want to be filled through the end. So everyone is trying to pit as early as possible, but the guys who are going to go for the undercut strategy is, from what I can see here, JC Zudo, the pole sitter, might want to try for an undercut strategy to try to get some clean air in while the pit cycles are happening. Meanwhile, we're looking at some of the other battles here, but Aramazzi also going for the... Oh, you can see here, okay, Garcia and Vieira da Silva trying to go hammer and toss between each other. For the ones going along, Carolina Vieira da Silva and Raymond Pavo, as well, especially Aziz Moazif. Aziz Moazif have tried the overcut strategy in the race at Mandalika, and that got him the race lead. More battles here, as you can see, Miyuki and Oryx side by side. Miyuki tries to steal position from Oryx. Kurt steals the position from Shilage. As you see here, the car is pretty bent up from the contact and pretty damaged, but I think Emerson Kurt really makes it work as his aggressive driving is paying off. Shilage knocked out to 5th. Kurt is out up to 4th. As it says, Moazif and Shilage are no longer tied, and Moazif steals the championship lead. Aziz Moazif knows that he has the weight of Malaysia and Ayunda Risu on his shoulders at the moment, and right now he's trying his absolute best to hang on to whatever he has at the moment. I need to try to adjust the audio once again. On the inside, not really on the inside though, the cars are still getting very close into, and here we see Raymond Pavo peeling into the pit, so I believe he has an off somewhere. Again, commiserations for Raymond Pavo for him to be out this early, as we need to check back the race field monitor once again. There is not much an issue from here at the moment, as we can see from Raymond Pavo, unless he's on his scheduled stop. I don't think he's in his scheduled stop. I think he has it off somewhere, and I think with what happened with how aggressive the midfield was, I think there was contact between some of the drivers. Meanwhile, Kate Garcia and Hara Path now battle side by side. On the outside, Stacy Sudo fastest light in the Crazy Holy Nissan, 207.017. Stacy Sudo having the engine advantage over Hara Path, trying to go to the outside. Look at how fast, look at how easy Garcia can pass through Hara Path, and let's see if Hara Path can try to fight back once again. More battles at the back between Cashew and Asset. Cashew needs to grab as much points as possible, and because Cashew is currently the race leader here in the Hololive GT3 International Series, the overall standings. while Carolina Vieira da Silva is still leading the EN class standings. This race does not count towards the EN class cup, the Hololive English Cup that is. We're on lap 4. Let's take a look into the progress chart at the moment. Aziz Moaziv gaining 2 spots at the start to steal a race lead after 2 turns. Very good stuff from Moaziv. Shilage lost 2nd and is now down to 6th place. Oh, sorry. She lost. Yeah, she was 2nd and is now down to 6th place. Sorry, she's now down to 6th place. And you can see here, Cashew, another battle here with Asim. Cashew manages to overtake Asim, but Asim's going to fight back. The switchback move really doing him a lot of favors there. Cashew has the inside line though. No contact between the 2 drivers, Cali versus Ina. Still hanging on to it. And Asim manages to take back 14th place. And as Zeke Wimberly once said, that we could be seeing a massive shuffling in the order with this an unconventional standings here at the moment, the race order here. We could be seeing a massive shuffle in the championship standings come the end of this race. Looking at the intervals at the moment, Asim is really under attack against Vieira da Silva. Asim dives down the inside. Manages to steer clear of Vieira da Silva. Asim's now at the 13th. McConley now back up to 15th place. Drops Cashew out of the points. So for Mohamed Cashew, it's not looking very good for him as he tries to hang on to what he has at the moment. McConley tries to move down the inside. Vieira da Silva gives him some room. Troni versus Gura into turn 2. McConley has the better exit off the outside. Turns it into the inside line, but can McConley hang on? He might have to lift if he's not careful. And looking at Vieira da Silva, trying to catch up. Not quite close enough there for Vieira da Silva to get into the inside of McConley. So McConley now up to 14th place. Emerson Kurt in 4th place, trying to catch Maurice Tremblay. Of course, Emerson Kurt is also inside the title hunt right now. Every ID class car at the moment is still mathematically able to win this championship. Kate Garcia is still here, and with how much of a race Shilage has, and with how much of a race Moaziv has, there is a huge shuffle in the order to come the end of this race, as we mentioned earlier, if we haven't mentioned about this already. If Moaziv taking this win, he takes the race lead, 350 points. And with Shilage down to 6, she will score less than 100 points. And Shilage will now be in the outside looking in for the championship. And she's now out of the race championship lead with round 9, the basically season finale for the ID Class Cup, the Piala Hololive Indonesia, looming tomorrow. Here's Lance Oryx trying to stamp his championship bid against Monica Shilage. Kate Garcia and Santi Olivares, another battle. They're exiting turn 15. Santi Olivares is invigorated with so much content from Amelia Watson. Kate Garcia is going to try to put up a good amount of fight. Tries to go extend the corner for as much as she can. Manages to hold on to 8th place. Good job there from Kate. And a bit of confirmation there, Raymond Pavo has already exited from his car. His race is over. That is his 2nd retirement in 3 races. So for Raymond Pavo, it's not looking good for him. I think as it stands right now, he's already mathematically eliminated from championship contention with where Moaziv is at the moment. If anyone manages to score above, rack up more than 200 points in these 2 races in the ID Class Cup, then Raymond Pavo is already out of the championship. So commiserations for Raymond, as he's now out of the race and the championship entirely, at least for the ID class. But of course, his heart is still raging on for Portfolio Rene. He may see this as an unfortunate turn of events, but he knows that with him representing Rene, that's one thing that matters. Well, of course, he knows winning is the other thing that matters, but he's doing everything he can, so at least that's what is coming for him. Looking at the race field monitor right now, we're looking at the first scheduled starts from Maurice Tremblay, Aaron Mazzi, and Mohamed Cashew. They're going for the undercut strategy. Let's see where the undercut strategy takes them. Remember, Sepang is a warm track. It's now right about 30 to 32 degrees at the moment. The tires are already tortured enough with these low and high-speed corners, and now they're being tortured even more with these high track temperatures. And so, with the tires being absolutely abused, the tire wear is being absolutely accelerated, and so the undercut strategy might be the strategy to go. Hit early, get some few laps in a track that might be slightly difficult to overtake, and that's how it goes. But then again, we need to see also how the overcut drivers are going to be handling as well. Where Messi tries to get close there to the rock. Not close enough. No changes in the order at the moment. Lance holding on to 7th place, trying to look for an opportunity to pass Monica Shilage in that number 58 Kyla Kowalski Lexus. Not too shabby there, Hector Bembe trying to go for the good exit off of turn 8, but it's not going to be enough for turn 9 for Hector Bembe. Meanwhile, McConnelly and Cashew battling out, as well as Vera da Silva. Vera da Silva hadn't been at her best at the moment. Watch out for Mama Cashew, still holds on into the inside line. This is not a place where you usually battle here. Turn 11. Good job there for both drivers to still make it in track. Vera da Silva holding on into the outside line. So Cashew managing to pull onto the outside line, trying to hang on to the 15th place, the sole point position that he has at the moment. Cashew and Vieira da Silva are currently top 2 in the championship standings. Cashew leads and Vieira da Silva is not far behind. Vieira da Silva is looking for an opportunity to pass. Mama Cashew, Vieira da Silva is on the inside. Oh, there's some slight contact between Cashew and Vieira da Silva. Cashew peels into the pits. He's the first car to commit to this one-stop strategy. He will go for the undercut, try to repair as much damage as he can in the car, as well as get the once-over, get the field topped up, get the tires in, and scoring some hot laps in clean air. And meanwhile, Vieira da Silva is still in that dirty air at the moment. Asim and McConnelly also side-by-side battles here at the moment. Battles are absolutely rife in Sepang at the moment. Battles left, right, and center, at the front and in the middle and at the back. Hector Bembe now down the inside of Santi Olivares, pushes Olivares off wide still, but still fair play. Bembe having a poor exit off of turn 8. Olivares getting the clean run exiting turn 8 on the outside line, manages to defend. Good showing there from Santi. Vieira da Silva doing the same thing to Asim. Asim holding on to 14th place. Exiting turn 14, Hector Bembe trying to look for an opportunity to pass Santi Olivares. Here's another battle for position here. Tremblay and Kurt. Tremblay is the first of your ID class championship leaders to pit. Tremblay getting into the pit lane at the moment to get his car serviced. And looking at Wamakashu, his relative competitor is Wamakashu. He's also already pitted at the moment. And you can see more cars peeling in. Like Harapaf as well. Nissan and Santi Olivares as well. Sudo and Moaziv though has traded the race lead though. At this point in time, Sudo knows he has time to attack, and ending into turn 1, he has a good slipstream, and actually manages to get past Moaziv for the race lead. So Sudo's doing himself a good amount of favors to stay inside the championship hunt, while Moaziv is gonna try to play the long game. A lot of guys are pitting on lap 9 this race. Lado is pitting, Mazzi's pitting. In addition to Trombley on Olivares and Paf, there's now basically 5 cars pitting in this lap. As you can see here, first car is out, and that's Maurice Tremblay. Cashew is already exiting turn 15 and into the main straight. So Tremblay has a campaign that he needs to do. Try to win this race with Hoshino Muna and try to mount a championship charge in round 8. Of course, there's only 3 races in the Hololive Indonesia Cup. Tremblay has a lot of work that he needs to do to try to hold on into what he has at the moment. And that is the race lead. And right now what he's trying to do, bank in as fast of a lap as possible in this first part of the second stint, while Sudo and Moaziv are still battling out for position. So looking at the lap times here, we're about to see this lap on we're about to see the comparisons on lap 11. We'll have to wait and see as Moaziv is still stuck on track. Sudo is now the faster car out there. But of course, if you want to take a look at the race field monitor here, JC Sudo is now peeling into the pits. Lance Ors and Monica Shilage. So obviously Sudo attacking Moaziv for the race lead was because Sudo was trying to go for that very good banker lap, his very good outlet before he pits. And right now his battle is with Maurice Tremblay, who is currently on track. He has already pitted, fresh fuel and good amount of fuel and fresh tires. He's gonna try to push. Hector Bembe fastest lap, 206.996. Not bad for a rookie on his first Hololive GT3 start. Very good stuff in 5th place. JC Sudo exits the pits. And as you can see here right now, Tremblay is nowhere to be seen, and it looks like the overcut strategy is paying dividends to JC Sudo. Less time to basically fuel your car, and Tremblay way back. But then again, Tremblay was around 4th or 5th. So right now, it's now up to Moaziv to try to consolidate his race lead, hanging on to this overcut strategy at the moment. He's going to be the last to pit. He's the one with the most fuel coming into the start of the race. So Moaziv is going to try to hang on to what he has. The race lead, getting some clean and consistent laps here. Nearly loses his rear as he touches the curb in turn 9, hits the bump there. Vieira de Silva hanging on into 8th place right now, obviously. Monica Shilage have also pitted as well. We forgot to mention that. Okay, we also want to apologize for this lag spike here. Anyways, we also want to mention that Shilage has pitted before Maurice Tremblay and managed to actually undercut Tremblay and gain a position. At least that's what I recall, because Tremblay, I don't remember that he was ahead. I remember he was ahead of Shilage, but now Shilage has got 12th place, 208.096. Let's see what these two cars' lap times can account for. And meanwhile, we see Emerson Kerr and Hanari Miyuki, highest they've ever been. How far Emerson Kerr is the highest he has been since Mosport. And Hanari Miyuki, this is her race high position. Her highest she has been in a race at the moment, 2nd place. But of course, good things have to come to an end sometimes, as she now pits from 2nd place. And also for Hector Bembe, very good stuff there. That's the fastest lap, 206 in his first stint. Doing very solidly for his run. And now we see Carolina Vieira de Silva also coming into the pit. I didn't think there is another car in, and that's on the road in the Hakkelsbels Nissan. Looking into the standings here at the moment, Sudo still maintains his position over Kurt. Oryx is now up to 7th place right now. Shilage up to 8th. Trombley up to 9th. We only have 4 cars who have yet to pit. Aziz Muazif, Kate Garcia. Actually, we need to check the timetable here for the top drivers. Haven't seen them inside the standings here yet. Well, we'll need to check on lap 12 here after this. Aziz Muazif, only 10 liters of fuel to go. He might pit in the next 2 or 3 laps, as well as Jeremy Asim, Brendan McConley, and Kate Garcia. Aziz Muazif really logging in those laps led in the Hyundai Risu Honda. Doing very well for the Risuners. And for Hyundai Risu, holding on to his race lead. And as it stands right now, if he can hold on to the race lead, as we've mentioned earlier, he will be stealing the championship lead away from Monica Shilage in the ID class standings, and will do him a lot of favors in the overall International Series standings. And as you can see here, the top guys are the ID class cars, and right now is the ID class cars that are showing up in round 8. Well, previously in the first half of the season, it was only the EN cars that mainly show up. It's now a reversal of fortune, as we like to call it, for the ID class cars. Now they're up front, and the EN cars are taking a backseat. Kate Garcia peeling into the pits. Brendan McCauley as well as Jeremy Asset. So Aziz Muazif is now the lone driver who has basically hang on to his lead at the moment from staying out on track. Let's see what Lance Orr's lap times are at the moment. Lance Orr's 207.732. Aziz Muazif has set a last lap of 208.167. So very good stuff from 209.3959 for Shilage, 208.344 for Trombley. Oryx is catching out to Muazif. So the delta for the pit stop delta is around 45 seconds here in Sepang, give or take. And Muazif is currently still holding on to his comfortable race lead. But for how much longer? Aziz Muazif will have to check into the next few laps here. He might have to pit the next lap or the lap after that. Jeremy Asim exits in 13th place ahead of Vieira de Silva. And behind Hera Path. Oh, and you can see Hyana Miyuki. She stopped on track. I think this contact between Miyuki and someone else, which I think she's out of the race. She's out of the race. I think there was contact in between someone and Miyuki into turn 1, and that's very unfortunate for Miyuki in her home race. Well, it's for one of her 2 home races, so commiserations for Miyuki and Kobo Kanairu and for all of her fans. Not what they want to see here. Okay, she's back out on track. Well, you can see here, I think there's a good amount of damage at the front. We need to check into the other cameras. Yeah, there's a little good amount of damage on the front, and I think she made contact with someone. Now she's down to 18th. Back out on the track, still in 18th. Not doing her any favors though. Meanwhile, Trombley is battling Shilage. This is for the championship positions in the overall standings, as well as the Indonesia class. If you don't know how important this is very important in the grand scheme of. Remember, Shilage is leading the ID class standings, and with her down to 5th, and Trombley only a few points back. Well, about nearly 100 points back. It's not looking good for Shilage. She loses position still. Previous race winner, incumbent race winner, is losing up another position to Maurice Trombley. Maurice Trombley now up inside the top 5. Aziz Muazif is being called into the pit lane, as you can see here. Again, takes the curb quite aggressively there. shows you his determined to attack. 208.237 last lap from Wazif. Let's Ors 207.675. So Let's Ors nearly a second faster than Wazif there. Looking at Trombley and Shilage, they're not doing any intros from Wazif. Wazif is on a dominant run at the moment, leading from the start of the race. Well, he hadn't let from lights out. He did steal a lead from Pseudo every now and then. But looking at the delta here, Pseudo is only 42 seconds ahead of behind Aziz Wazif. With Wazif pitting, there could be a delta between the two. Eduardo Silva and the Rob battling for the final, or who gets 1 point, who gets 4 points. Eduardo Silva is only going to get one at this rate unless she makes the move down the inside, which she does. So they got a good run off of turn 4 into turns 5 and 6. Ledo is still leading. Ledo will still have those 4 points. Aziz Wazif will get confirmation that he is pitting this lap. Let's see how fast, how quick JC Pseudo is to catch up to Wazif's gap. And especially for Lens Oryx, who is also his championship contender. Lens Oryx is only 20 points behind Aziz Wazif and 17 points behind Monica Shilage. Lens Oryx here. Wazif is getting out on track. Here's JC Pseudo. The battle for the race lead and to decide the winner may have as well been decided, because Aziz Wazif, in for the second race in a row, has went on for the overcut strategy and nearly pays off. As you can see, Aziz Wazif and JC Pseudo nearly both of them make contact. But Aziz Wazif just needs to warm up his tires and defend a charge from JC Pseudo with warmer tires. And Aziz Wazif holds on to this race lead. Amazing stuff from Wazif. And now the only thing stopping him from winning this race is lap traffic. But that, of course, was so true back in Mandalika. He will hope that he will not have a repeat this time by, as he wants to have those maximum 200 points at home for him to have the best shot of holding on into his ID Class Championship lead heading into the ID Class season finale tomorrow. Well, not second season finale, but it is the ID Class season finale. Shilage is unfortunately losing touch of Maurice Tremblay. Down in 6th place. Not in the position that she is favoring at the moment. As well, a bit of an on-but to showcase you what she has been putting inside her helmet. Remember that there has been a contest inside our server, our Discord server, where we basically have a helmet design contest. Which will design the best helmet. Here's Monica Shilage. Here's her submission. As you can see here, her helmet is based off Kyla Kowalski. Can't see much, but you see here the colors are really based off of Kyla Kowalski. And of course, for the VTuber that she represents, she is doing the best she could to get back into it. And for Hanari Miyuki though, she was in the mid pack and then she's now back down to 18th place. Not good for her though. She's gotta be kicking herself for what happened to her. But yeah, 209.392. But remember, Aziz Wazif has the freshest tires of them all. So unless lap traffic would have a say against Wazif, Wazif will be a clear favorite. He will be running away with this win unless Wazif makes a mistake or Pseudo has found magical amounts of pace. Olivar's really catching up to Hector Bembe there into turn 1, but not close enough there. Bembe holds on to 8th place. Olivar tries to look for every opportunity in the book, but not good enough. Well, not exactly good enough. Well, not exactly not good enough, but the opportunity isn't open. So Olivar will have to wait. As for the overall International Series standings, let's talk about Mama Casio at the moment. After the cycle of pit stops, he has went for which he went for a undercut strategy. He was languishing outside the points. He's now up to 11th, which is good because he's battling against Vieira da Silva, but Olivares is up to 9th place. Brendan McConley is up into 10th place, so the top part of the championship is going to get a massive shakeup. Maurice Tremblay in 5th. Who to say that Tremblay isn't in contention for the championship lead? Well, they're hallucinating because Tremblay is also hot on the heels of every EN class car because he's currently the highest ID class car in the overall standings. JC Pseudo now clawing the gap back up to I think 9/10 of a second. What about the Nissan's straight line advantage? 10ths of a second, just 1/10 the difference between Wazif and Pseudo. So obviously both of them basically even Stevens between the two. They cannot be separated much, but Emerson Kurt though, he's looking for an opportunity to win here in Sepang. He's had his home race in Phillip Island where he's done pretty decently. He did finish inside the top 10, as I think I recall. Okay, Garcia doing very well to stay inside the championship hunt in 7th place. Shilage in 6th. Trying to find a way past Maurice Tremblay. Okay, Garcia also hot on the heels. Two-thirds of Paulo Hero inside the top 10. Yuki's the other one. Unfortunately, she's languished at the back. Vieira da Silva continues her feast or famine run. This time it's famine in Sepang. Unfortunate for her. Pseudo has lost a good amount of time against Mozef. The gap was a second, it's now 1.3 seconds. Emerson Kurt is not far behind. This is the battle for 5th to 7th between Tremblay, Shilage, and Garcia. Also good worth noting, the top 7 in the race here at the moment are ID class cars. So Hala Indonesia are getting good representation even though we're not racing in Indonesia at Sentul. We're racing in the nearest equivalent track, which is Sepang, for round 8. And right now Moazim is doing very well to represent Kyla Koval. So like, are you in the Risu? And you can see Shilage tries to go around the outside of Maurice Tremblay. I think there's contact between the two. And trying to defend, going hard there. Tremblay tries to defend. Goes hard. Goes way too deep into the corner. Has hit Shilage. Loses the position and is in danger of losing positions more to Garcia. But not what Tremblay has to say about it. Tremblay now attacking back. Garcia now up to 6th place again, but Tremblay might be able to go for a counter offensive once again. 3-car manufacturer battle. 3 manufacturer battle for 5th place at the moment. Garcia is now diving down the inside of Monica Shilage. There's contact between the two. Garcia nearly loses control, tapping into the side of Shilage. Shilage holding on into 5th place at the moment. Her championship is on the line here at the moment. She cannot afford to be stuck any longer at the back, and by the back I mean 6th place. But Garcia is still trying for a move that'll push her into 5th place. Shilage is still trying to defend her position in 5th place at the moment. To the fast sweeping turns 5 and 6, this is where the Nissan struggles, and this is where the Lexus enjoys itself. And Shilage absolutely hanging on to 5th place, doing very well for herself. Shilage now up to 5th, but who knows, Tremblay might be able to steal position. The top 3, Honda, Nissan, Hyundai Risu, Crazy Oli, Irani Yo 50. These three cars, the VTubers they represent, they are already very seasoned. over 2 years of HoloLive experience between them. Each between them, between these three. They are all very well. They're all very well represented. They are doing very well to represent HoloLive. And speaking of which, 6 of the ID class, 6 of the ID members will be participating into the HoloLive 4th Festival. And if you want to know about the 4th Festival, our Bike Parade, you can buy tickets to the 4th Festival here. You can see the QR code. You can scan the QR code to redirect yourself into the Super Expo and the 4th Fest link. And for Brendan McConley, trying to attack Olivares once again. I'm in Simon Battles once again. Again, scan the QR code to find out more about the HoloLive Super Expo 2023. I'm in Simon Battles once again for Olivares and McConley. They had been battling between each other throughout the season already. And right now, McConley is the one that's ahead. Asim and Harapaf battling side by side. There is also a contact between a Nissan and a Lexus once again. After holding on around the outside, but may have to lift around the corners. That's gonna leave a door open for Harapaf. Harapaf not looking like she wants to stay at the back. She's trying to represent Sarasvana very well with these colors. Harapaf not far behind. Jeremy Asim there only at 0.8 of a second. Well, here we see the difference between the Lexus and the Nissan in these fast-flowing high-speed corners. It was 0.8 of a second. Now it's dropped down to maybe, still 0.8 of a second. Now dropped down to 0.7. A faster exit for Harapaf there in the Lexus compared to Asim and the Nissan. So that's doing the Lexus a favors in the corners. The top 3 are still being left untouched as we're about to get into the halfway stages into this race. Lap 19 begins for Aziz Mwazif, our race leader here in Sepang. We could be seeing one of the most dominant runs in HoloLive GT3 at the moment, leading from lap 1, at the end of lap 1 until the end of this race. With a brief disruption from JC Suda, we could be seeing one of the most dominant runs in HoloLive GT3 history. As we're in the halfway stages, we're about to take a short break. No ad breaks, no ads. We have declared that there will be no ads in these racing series per the agreement from Carbon Corp and the guidelines and all that stuff. So we're gonna give you just basically an ASMR of cars on track and the occasional onboards. So enjoy the break while we're at it. We'll tune in to the rest of the race soon. Back here in Sepang, as you see Asim trying to go for an inside move against Mama Cashew down the inside of turn 15. Hanging on into the inside, but will Cashew have the better exit? The answer is no. Asim hanging on to 11th place. Another battle between 16th and 17th. Battle for a silver spoon. Mazzy and Rob. Side by side between these two Lexus cars. Bayris, if you want to call them that, are battling side by side. Looking good there between Mazzy and Rob there. Mazzy has the inside line. Pips the Rob off of turn 15. And Mazzy has it. Mazzy has 16th place. Looking at the battle here right now, Flockus is currently 7th in the race here at the moment. He was 5th, but had a mistake at the exit of turn 14. Had a contact with Monica Shilage and then lost a position to Kate Garcia. So Trump hang on to 7th place. Right now, I don't think there will be much battles here as it stands, but we're gonna need to check in for the pace advantages at the moment. 4/10 faster for Moise compared to Sudo on that last lap. 208.165 compared to 208.501 last lap. But Emerson Curtis is faster than Sudo, 208.361. So Kurt is definitely in the hunt for a race win. We have had confirmation that Miyuki has had too much damage and she's now stuck inside the pits. Terrible sights for Miyuki as she was trying to leave her mark at home. It just wasn't meant to be. So that's 2 retirements here in Sepang, 17 cars remaining on track. As you can see here, Emerson Kurt holding on to 3rd place. AJC Sudo is his target at the moment. 8/10 is the gap between these two. If Kurt can catch Sudo and make the overtake stick, then Kurt might have a chance to attack Aziz Moisif. And remember, we do want to mention that everyone is good on fuel until the end. So back into the race field monitor here, and it's actually not everyone is good on fuel because some of these guys are actually committing to a 2-stop strategy. I mean, we want to take a look at maybe Raymond Pavo. Oh, never mind. Raymond Pavo is out of the race, as is Hanari Miyuki. So everyone is still sticking into this 1-stop strategy. Everyone has already pitted. So we're just going to wait until there's an action coming out on track. So, yeah. At the moment, we're now on lap 22 here in Sepang. See here. Oh, we have another battle here between Vieira da Silva and Lado exiting turn 8. Lado on the inside of turn 9 against Da Silva. Silva hanging on in the outside. Manages to overtake Lado, or rather defend from Lado in 14th place. Here's Dorab's position. He is currently just into turn 10. Everyone Wazif is at turn 4, 5, and 6. So the odds of a lap car is not likely, but it is still possible if, let's say, the Rock loses a lot of pace. So here we are, lap 22 here in Sepang. Nice afternoon we're having here. It's pretty sunny. Sun shining here in Sepang, in Selangor. And Aziz Mwazif, he said that he is from Kuching, Sarawak. That doesn't change the fact that this is his nation. This is his people that are watching him race here in Sepang circuit. Aziz Wazif has a lot of work that he needs to do. Meanwhile, GT Sudo and Emerson Kerr are losing touch from Wazif. So Wazif really just needs to keep his head down and try to focus on these next few laps. Back into the track here at the moment. Jeremy Asim trying to find a way against Olivares, but in doing so, look at Mama Cashew. Mama Cashew is now looking for an opportunity to attack. Not much of a chance. Basically, the window has closed. Not much of a gap that he can try to attack. Not much of a gap that he can go for. Speaking of which, we want to mention one thing about the... Oh, as you can see here, Cashew trying to go around the outside. Not quite close enough, though. Meanwhile, we also want to mention that from 8th to 12th, it's basically a Holo Myth 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's one thing that yeah, we can have for if you are a HoloMyth fan, if you're a fan of either Ina, Kali, Kiara, Gura, or Ame. That's one thing that you can go for. We are lapping at a 2:12. Wazif is currently still lapping at 2:08.510. JC Sudo have at least caught up to Wazif that last lap. Only a hundredth of a second, but let's see if it's going to be enough to claw that 2-second gap into a gap of pure menace. Oh, you can see in battle here, Lance Oris is slowly catching up into the top 3. Lance Oris has serious pace out of everyone so far. We want to mention, Lance Oris is the fastest out of anyone so far, 2:07.802 for him at the moment. As you can see, more battles between Cashew and Asim. Asim losing touch into the exit of turn 8. Asim now trying to hang on into turn 9, has the inside line turn 9. Will Asim try to attack? No, he won't. Asim now back up to 11th place. Emerson Kurt. As we were taking a look into this battle, it's no longer a battle between just the top 3 or 4, not just a battle between the top 2 stop, but becoming a battle for the top 4. As you can see, Cashew passes Asim in turn 14, but on turn 15 with the long straight and the Nissan's pace advantage on the straights, Asim's gonna try to find an offense for Asim. And we again apologize for the slight lag spike here again. Sorry if it looks like a slideshow, but we are trying our best here. Asim still hanging on to 11th place. Lance Oryx is really caught up into the back of Emerson Kerr there. Oryx is in position to try to steal a podium position from Emerson Kerr and maybe JC Sudo and try to cushion his basically damage to Wazif if he doesn't attack Wazif by then. Because right now, Lance Oryx is the fastest car out there, and right now, as Anya's lone soldier, as he dubs himself, is going to be trying for an offense himself. Lance Oryx is on the charge. Trading blows between Cashew and Asim once again. You can see there, between Asim and Cashew. Oh, trying to go for the outside line there, Cashew. Trying to take a look into it. Not looking good there because, obviously, Cashew, championship leader, wants to lose as minimal points as possible and try to get up into the positions. You can see here McConley up into 9th place here, and also for Carolina Vieira da Silva, she's now down to 14th. She's battling Santi Olivares and Brendan McConley for the championship lead, so there could be something going on here for Cashew. He's now still back up to 11. Asim is not far behind. Asim is going to try again for an offensive against Cashew, who says there's not going to be any more battles here in Sepang in the second half because it's not very right between either at the front or at the middle pack. Asim has the outside line. Cashew will try to hang it on to the inside. Look at how fast the Nissan breezes by. But can Cashew dive down the inside? The answer is no. He's not close enough. And again, Asim gets 11th place. And Lance Oryx, though, having a really bad fast car, is now caught up to Emerson Kurt. Lance Oryx has about less than 13 laps to try to get into Aziz Muaziv's lead. His pace has not been matching with Emerson Kurt as he's trying to find a way to get past him. Cashew and Asim trading blows once again, this time again at the exit of turn 9. Cashew really needs to hold on into his line there. Again, Asim has the edge into turn 11. Oh, and Ors, I think he made a mistake somewhere. I think he lost good amount of pace there relative to Emerson Kurt. Trying again the outside there by Cashew. Again, contact between the two, but I don't think this is going to be a place where you need to attack. Now Harapaf is joining into the mix. She might sniff 11th place from here. Down the inside is Mama Cashew. On the outside is Jeremy Asim. Asim holding on, trying to get a good exit off of turn 15. Now has to slipstream, and with that Nissan power on that hood, who knows if Cashew can hold on into this by turn 2. It could be very good for Cashew, but oh, Asim is getting very close there. Look at how fast that car, that Nissan, is breezing by. Oh, there's another bit of contact between the two. They're not on friendly terms as it stands. They're still side by side exiting turn 2, but Cashew with a compromised inside line, and as you can see, he takes up a good amount of grass there and hits the bump there into turn 3 there. Jeremy Asim. And Cashew trying to go over it. And Lance Oryx now finally makes the pass onto Emerson Kurt. Lance Oryx now back up to 3rd. Now his target is JC Sudo. And now he's been re-overtaken by Emerson Kurt once again, exiting turn 15. If Emerson Kurt wants to find a place to attack, he needs to do it in the corners and not give the Nissan any opportunity to catch up. The Nissans are really showing up in Sepang, but of course in historical data here at the moment says that the Nissans have not won a HoloGT3 race yet. In the Japan series, 3 Hondas won and one Lexus car won. It's at the moment Lance Oryx trying his best to claw as much of a gap as possible to Emerson Kurt. Look at how smooth he is in the corners, and look at how much Emerson Kurt is struggling. The move may be made into turn 7 and 8 for Oryx. Here he goes once again. Side by side between the two cars. Anya into the inside, and yes, he's made the pass, but he's now very much exposed to Emerson Kurt. Emerson Kurt goes on the outside, into the inside. Will there be contact? No! Now it's the time for Lance Oryx to build up a gap, as the next corners are definitely suited for the Lexus. Lance Oryx holding on into the 1 second gap that he has at the moment, trying to break the slipstream from Emerson Kurt, and he's doing very well at the moment. 1.2 seconds between Oryx and 1.5 seconds between Oryx and Kurt. It's looking very good for Oryx. That means Emerson Kurt is not going to attack. We're about to get into 10 laps to go here in Sepang. Lance Oryx on the hunt to get his first win for Anya Melfisa. And technically, anyone inside the top 4, if they win here in Sepang, it will be a first time for them. It will be a first time winner for them and for the VTuber that they represent. And as it stands, it's looking very good there for Lance Oryx, as he's now trying to claw a gap between Pseudo and himself. Kurt, well, on those straights alone, he has gained 7/10 on Lance Oryx, so Lance Oryx has a fight on his hands. And right now, Lance Oryx trying to catch JC Pseudo, looking at the gaps in Sector 3, or rather in Sector 1, but actually we need to take a look into just Sector 2, because right now, the gap was only 1.6 seconds. Let's see how much the Lexus gains. Oh, Jeremy Aston and Santi Olivars are now battling for each other for position. Jeremy Aston now up to 10th. They're battling side by side into turn 15. The gap between Oryx and Pseudo have now closed down by half a second in just a span of a few corners. Now it's now dropped down to 7/10. Amazing stuff for Lance Oryx, as he's now charging a monster run for Anya Melfisa as Anya's lone soldier in Hololive GT3. He's gonna go for a move soon. 45.3 for Lance Oryx against JC Pseudo, 46.5, 1.2 seconds faster on Sector 2 alone. Well, let's see what he can do in Sector 3. Will he make a move down the outside? The answer might be yes. He's in for a move. Side by side with Pseudo. They make contact between the two, but right now, as they're both side by side on the straights, they're both going to be exposed to Emerson Kurt, who's trying to catch up into the pack, the lead pack that is, and Oryx is going to try to defend. He has second place right now, and all he needs to see is Aziz Muazim and not JC Pseudo at the back, and now JC's behind him, and with the straight line advantage that JC Pseudo has, he's going to be looking for an opportunity on the outside. Wait, no, it's going to be in the inside for JC Pseudo. Into turn 1. Can JC Pseudo defend? Hanging around the outside. Lance Oryx. Hanging. There's a bit of contact between the two. Oryx isn't backing down. And Lance Oryx has second place. And yes, of course, he has second. He's still second for JC Pseudo. And now all he needs to do is close the gap between himself and Aziz Muazim, who was the race leader. It's now the battle for the race lead and for the ID Clash Championship between Lance Oryx and Aziz Muazim. These two cars have basically battled each other for quite some time. And in Mandalika, the Risu car finished 3rd and the Anya car finished 4th. And now they're running 1-2 in this race. Who's going to be coming out on top? Lance Oryx is currently very excited at the moment to know that he is currently in a position of menace to win this race. We are now at 9 laps to go, 29 laps out of 37, 28 laps completed. He's definitely in the offense. He's definitely looking for any opportunity that he can find to attack. 1.7 seconds is the gap between Muazim and Oryx. And as you can see here, Les Or is already 1.1 seconds faster than Wazim on that sector alone. Oris seems to be unstoppable at the moment. While the Nissan cars are going to battle it out for themselves, we are going to be seeing a first-time race winner if this stands between the top 4. If any of the top 4 wins, this is the first-time winner for the driver and the VTuber they represent. 1.3 seconds the gap between Wazim and Oris as they're about to start lap 30, 29 laps complete, 8 laps to go. Unfortunately, for those who say that the Ghost Sweet card, unfortunately we will not be seeing the debut of the HoloLive GT3 Japan Series where the Suisei Nissan is available until next week. Stay tuned for next week for the debut of the 2023 HoloLive GT3 Japan Series. 35 cars enter, all 35 GP cars to basically take part at Fuji, which is a split round, as we've already explained on our Twitter. So if you want to see some Suisei racing, you want to see Suisei Nissan, then you gotta be tuning into the Japan Series race, which will be on next week. Next week is where we will finally get this thing underway, and we'll talk about the Japan Series later next week. But for now, it's the International Series. The gap's now down to less than a second between Oris and Wazif. .7 of a second between Oryx and Wazim. Let's see how much he can do to attack. The gap is now down to 5 tenths. 4 tenths is now the gap between these two. We could be seeing a battle for the ages as we're about to go to the final 7 laps of this race. Lap cars might be in the equation here. Don the Rock there just exits turn 14. Oh man, the gap between the race leader and the car who is about to go a lap down is really not too close. But it is getting close there. 5 seconds, 6 seconds, give or take, between Wazif and Don Rob. Don Rob has already caused headaches for the race leaders in Mandalika. It's gonna probably cause another headache again here in Sepang. Again, for representing the VTuber and Chaos. He's gonna go for, he has learned from his mistakes, I believe, from Mandalika to try to find the right opportunity to pass Don the Rob. But Don the Rob is running a Nissan, was running a Honda, and Oris is running a Lexus. So between these 3 cars, Wazim will have a better shot in passing Don the Rob. Meanwhile, Oryx is slowly catching up once again, although he is losing touch just a slight bit on these final 7 laps. Who's going to be coming out on top? Stay tuned in this final 7 laps. Of course, we're going to still be commentating, but I'm going to need to take a short break to rest my throat. Look at Pseudo there, losing touch to the top 2 pack. And now Lens Oryx, 0.2 of a second. Will he make a move around the outside? He might be. Not close enough there, but there should be a few more opportunities to come. 6 laps to go. Oryx has 6 full laps to try to catch up and pass as it wanted to bring home the win for Anya Melfissa, the Mel Friends, and himself. And to be the top dog out of everyone so far, heading into the final race of the HoloLive Indonesia Cup, which is beyond the HoloLive Indonesia which is basically tomorrow. Here is where the Lexus can try to slowly catch back up. Meanwhile, Don the Rob is going to try to start causing a headache for Aziz Mwazif. Lap cars have been part of the equation in HoloGT3 GT3 for quite some time already. Lap cars playing a role in whether or not they could pass it or not. And remember, no blue flags in racing, and this could provide some very interesting action. Still on board the number 33 Anya Belfista Lexus, trying to find a spot to pass Mwazif. Mwazif is on a position of worry. He needs to pass the Rob very quickly if he wants to have a shot at winning this race and basically steal the championship lead for himself. Now is a good time to pass the Rob, and now you can see the Rob is now playing into the hands of the lead battle here. The Rob is desperately trying his best to stay on the lead lap. Meanwhile, Mwazif is trying his best to pass Don the Rob to put him a lap down and to use him as a pick against Lance Oryx. But Lance Oryx is going to see this as an opportunity as Mwazif fails to pass the Bay car. Oryx will now have more of a shot to try to take an opportunity. And you can see here, it's not just Don the Rob. Aaron Mazzi and Mercer Lado are also about to go a lap down if the race continues for like 10 or 20 more laps, of course. Meanwhile, as you can see here, Les Oryx trying to go around the inside. I think he's taking a peek, but he's already quite far back. He's lost a good amount of time there trying to make a move around turn 15. That doesn't even work. Getting close there into the final stages in this race. Actually, we are in the final stages of this race. Oryx trying to pounce Mwazif, who is currently stuck behind Don the Rob for the basically in the race lead at the moment. He's now in the position of worry, as we mentioned already. Lance Oryx trying to go for a good exit off of turn 6. This may be a shot for him to go down the inside, and as you can see here, he might make a dive. Not quite close enough. Yes, it is. There's a dive between the two. Mwazif goes off wide. Lance Oryx steals the race lead. And it's not the first time Mwazif has lost to a Lexus in the final stages of this race, because Mwazif is going to try to fight back around the outside. Around the outside still goes on. Mwazif trying to hold on into this race lead. The battle is rife. On lap 33, 5 laps to go. Mwazif still leads. Oryx is still in second. And now we're going to see how this race unfolds. As you can see here, the Rob is now catching up to Mazzi and Lado. If you remember, it is the Rob and Lado which disrupted the race lead, with the leaders battle. And with Monica Shilage ended up being the race winner. Oryx is going to try to find any other opportunity that he could find. A good exit at turn 15 is all he needs. Right now, it's not forthcoming. And as you can see here, Sudo and Kurt battling for the final podium positions. Aaron Mazzi diving down the inside of Mercer Lado for that 1 point. This is going to cause even more headaches for Don the Rob. It's going to cause even more headaches for Aziz Mwazif, as now he doesn't have to deal with 1 lap car, but 3 lap cars, as Les Oryx is currently getting very close, sniffing into the battle here between, sniffing into the lead, the gap between him and Mwazif. 3/10 is the gap between the two. Oh, and he now makes the move down the inside. Oryx into the inside of Mwazif for the race lead. This is definitely very important in the context of the championship. Only 3 races in. We are only in race 2. This race is going to be the one that sets the tone for the championship decider for the ID Class Cup. It's not really a season finale, but it is an ID Class season finale. Well, the ID Class Cup season finale. And now you can see here, he's going to try to cover up the inside. Trying to pass Don the Rob. And yes, he's passed Don the Rob. And now, Don the Rob is going to try to attack once again. Oh, going off wide there. Oryx. And now it's his turn trying to pass. And now the battle for the top 2 has now extended into the battle of the top 4. Moise has some breathing room, but for how much longer the next car he has to pass is... Looks like Mercedes in 16th place. Aramazzi has passed him. Aramazzi is now back inside the points. The battle between the front and the back have already merged between the two. And as you can see here, Horse on the outside of the Rob, trying to get into a good exit there. And now the Rob is under pressure from JC Sudo and Emerson Kerr. We're about to go 3 laps to go. This is going to be an interesting end to this race. Tune in till the end to see who's going to be the winner. Going down the inside there, JC Sudo trying to make a move against Lance Oryx for position. This is not what Oryx wants to see here as the laps wind down to 3 laps to go. And Olivares has basically managed to defend himself against Harapaf. Mama Cashew is looking to gain another spot once again. But meanwhile, the battle is right here, the battle for the race lead. Oryx trying to find an opportunity against Aziz Moazif. Oh, you can see here, Moazif got caught off guard there. Oryx tried to go down the inside, and he did. On to turn 7 and 8. Oryx now has the race lead. I think that is the nail. I think that's the final nail of the coffin for Aziz Moazif's race-winning hopes. And Les Oryx is now in the race lead with only just over 2 laps to go. Les Oryx is in the race lead. Moazif is in second, trying to find a way past Lance Oryx, and now Lance Oryx now has another challenge that he needs to do. Pass the Mercer Lado as soon as possible. Mercer has defended the outside line very well, and you can see Aziz Moazif trying to fight back once again. Aaron Mazzi is also into the mix. The battle between first and last is getting rife here in Sepang. 35 laps about to be complete, and now Aziz Moazif is now on the inside against Lance Oryx. On board JC Sudo, looking at a good battlefield between these two. 2 laps to go. Aziz Moazif against Les Oryx. And as you can see here, oh no, JC Sudo! JC Sudo's gonna give Les Oryx a headache. Trying to overtake him into turn 1. Oryx tries to hang on very well here as he's going to try to find an opportunity to pass Moazif himself. Here is the battle between a lap car and the guys in the lead pack. Sudo tries to hang it around the inside. Oryx has the outside line. But let's see if Oryx can defend. And now he's dropped out of position. He's going to try to attack once again. Switch back between Oryx and Sudo. They're losing out a good amount of position. I don't think Oryx can hang on around the outside. Maybe he can. Moazif is trying to hold on to what he can. Trying to hold on. And you can see here trying to defend against Sudo. Moazif trying to get past the lap car. And currently unable to do so. JC Sudo on the outside of Lance Oryx into turn 9. GT Sudo has the inside line, which is not looking good for Lance Oryx. Lance Oryx is going to be pushed off wide. Lance Oryx is holding strong into turn 11. Oh, nearly losing control there, JC Sudo. Lance Oryx on the move to try to steal a position. They're now just over a lap to go from seeing a first-time race winner. And as you can see here, Oryx trying for a move. You can hear Moise trying to go for the outside line pass. Everyone's gonna try to pass Mercedes very finely, and I think that is the nail in the coffin. I think this is the final nail in the coffin for Lance Oryx. Race-winning hopes as Moise is now using basically Mercedes as a pick. Monica Shilage has overtaken Emerson Kurt for 4th place and is gonna contest 3rd place against JC Sudo. As Moise starts the final lap of this race in this race lead, Sudo still stuck in basically 2nd place behind Mercedes, and he's now under pressure for JC Sudo, who's going to steal 2nd place. Emerson Kurt versus Monica Shilage for 4th place. The battle is rife here in Sepang. Final lap here in Sepang for today. We're gonna run it another 37 laps, and it's not looking good for Lance Oryx, who is almost about to be overtaken by Lance Oryx and JC Sudo. Trying to go around the inside, tries to stick around the inside. Lance Oryx tries to hang on, but he's not close enough. Actually, he is side by side still. Lance Oryx have now lost a good amount of time to Aziz Moise. Aziz Moise has a breather. At this point, Aziz Moise is unstoppable. No one's stopping Aziz Moise from winning this race. With Lance Oryx and JC Sudo and the rest of the front runners stuck stuck with the lap car, and Shilage is trying to steal a position from JC Sudo. Shilage is minimizing her damage in the championship standings very well. And Oryx now side by side with the Blume car driven by Mercedes. Aziz wasn't holding on into this race lead, but I don't think anyone is able to contest. And Bembe overtaking Maurice Trombley, but Maurice Trombley has him back, hanging on to 7th place. His championship hopes for Maurice is not looking very well though. But here we see Aziz Moise after trials and tribulations in the first part of the season. He got into the podium twice, and since then he has been on the rise and on the up. Aziz Moise exiting turn 15, representing Ayuda Risu, and all the researchers out there. Stand up innovation for Aziz Moise as he's about to win at home in Sepang and steals the ID class championship lead standings heading into the final race tomorrow. Lance Oryx, 2nd place. Don't write him off just yet. He put up a good fight there. Monica Shilage in 3rd, a great comeback for her after being stuck inside the mid-pack. Sudo down to 4th, Emerson Kurt 5th, Garcia in 6th. Very good run from her. Maurice Trombley is about to finish his race in 7th. 7 out of 9 ID class cars. Hector Bembe and Brandon McConley in 8th and 9th. As we're seeing the best of the rest, Hector Bembe is the winner of the EN class cars. Great job there from Aziz Moise to basically consolidate his race lead. Meanwhile, we're looking at Jeremy Assam and Hera Path, who's looking to finish at 10th and 11th. Olivars and Vieira da Silva's battle. These two guys haven't finished racing just yet. This is a battle for 12th place. Will there be a dive bomb? We will have to wait and see. And as you can see, not much of a difference between the two. Vieira da Silva hanging on to 13 places. It will be her first race where she has finished inside the point that is not inside the top 5. Again, it's a feast or famine run for Vieira da Silva. Manuel Casio isn't faring any better in 14th. And Aramazzi, being the last car on the lead lap, will try to stay in 15th place against will basically guarantee a spot on the lead lap. Having a very quiet race there. 1 race inside the points. 1 point for this race. So we're gonna need to basically transition over into post-race to see to basically wait for Aramazzi to cross the line, and then we will be seeing basically a replay of what happened to Raymond Pavo and Hanori Miyuki. Again, a very momentous race for Aziz Muazzev there as he takes his first HoloGT3 win of the season inside the Hoshimachi Suisei, inside the Ayuda Risu Honda, doing the Ayuda Risu and the listeners. A huge favor. Lance Oryx had the fastest car, but wasn't meant to be for him in the end. He will try to come back stronger tomorrow on Sunday, where the championship will be decided. Monica Shilage minimizes her damage as well as she could. Follows more. If you're listening to this, please list down the points for the ID class cars first. JC Sudo in 4th place, Emerson Kurt in 5th, Kate Garcia 6th, Maurice Trombley 7th, Hector Bembe in 8th, Brandon McConley 9th, and Jeremy Assam rounds out the top 10. Remember, Hector Bembe in his first Hololive GT3 start wins his got inside the top 10, scores points on his debut for Takadashi Kiara, replacing Marion Morse, doing very well for himself. Harold Pavitt in the Sarah Spot on Lexus, Santi Olivares in the Wasamilia Honda, Carolina Vera da Silva, Oro Cody Lexus, Cashew in the Cali Lexus. Looks to be that he will stay in the championship lead. Aaron Mazzi in 15th, in the final car inside the points for the Iris car. Marcelo Del, first car a lap down, and also Don the Rob. These are the last cars who have finished. And of course, Hanori Miyuki and Raymond Pavo, who have only completed 1 lap, and for 15 laps and 1 lap respectively. We'll take a look into what happened to them. And guys, we're gonna need to take a short break for a bit of a check. So let's get back into basically what happened in this race. So let's take a look into Raymond Pavo, who have started at the back. Let's take a look at what happened to Raymond Pavo. I think this is an incident in turn 9 for Raymond Pavo, trying to attack Muhammad Cashew. Oh, he was way too aggressive. Wait, no, it's not in turn 9. I think he went off in turn 10. Sorry, in turn 11. Here's the mistake made by Raymond Pavo. Oh, went off there. And that kind of dampened his chances. So let's take a look into what happened again for Raymond Pavo once again. Here is Raymond Pavo exiting turn 9. And this is the move that ended his championship chances. Here's the onboard. Commiserations for Raymond Pavo. He will not be able to compete for the ID Class Cup after this. Commiserations for Raymond. But of course, we're gonna need to take a look into some of the other DNFer of this race, Hanori Miyuki. Here is what happened to Hanori Miyuki, and I believe she had made the same mistake as Raymond Pavo, going off wide at turn 10, trying to go for as wide of a position as she could. Well, going as wide as she could. Here's Hanori Miyuki. Goes off wide. Oh, yeah. It's another mistake. Same mistake as Raymond Pavo, but of course he already had an off early on. So again, it's a big shame for Hanori Miyuki in her home race. So of course, with that out of the way, let's take a look first. We need to take a look into the overall championship standings. Now, the overall championship standings is not indicative of the ID class standings, but what we can tell for sure, Aziz Muazzev now has the race lead. and as it stands at the moment, and actually, due to also a few more things, it's right. Yeah, and actually, we have also seen a bit of a surprise with Lance Orris's very good run inside the second place at the moment. We have a huge surprise because the new championship leader isn't Muhammad Cashew. It isn't Carolina Vieira da Silva. It's Lance Oryx in the Anya Memphis Lexus, 737 points in the championship lead. So Lance Oryx, he has more reasons to fight than ever before in Sepang, and also the next 4 rounds, the final 4 rounds of the season, because he's now inside the overall championship league. He's not in the ID class championship league, but he's in the overall class championship league. Muhammad Cashew holding on to second place, loses the lead to Oryx. Trombley jumps up to third place with his good run. Vieira da Silva with another bad run now drops down to fourth. Hector Bembe in his continues. Marion Morris is a great run. He's now up to fifth place. Brendan McCauley in sixth. Olivares seventh. Dropped down a few positions due to their subpar races. Monica Shilage and Aziz Muazib jump up a few positions, as well as Emerson Kurt in 10th. Jeremy Asim also gets up a position or two in 11th. Harapath in 12th. Drops down a few more positions. Kate Garcia, JC Sudo, and Kate Garcia and JC Sudo. Currently, both of them are tied, and right now they're both in 13th place. Aaron Mazzi in 15th with the sole point that he earned. And Hanari Miyuki and Marcelo Do, Raymond Pavel, and Don DeRock having non-points paying positions basically meant that they're stuck in 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. And heading into the final race, watch out for these two drivers, Lance Oryx and Aziz Muazif. These two drivers will have a point to prove in both of these races. Both of them will be fighting for the ID class championship, and at the same time, the overall class standings will still be up for grabs. And as we're about to see some live updates from our live reporter, Fawaz Mori, who is also going to be driving HoloLive GT3 as well. But whatever the case is, we can confirm here. We will update the standings on Twitter for the full standings. And whatever the case is, it has been a very it has been a very fun race for everyone to watch. And with that out of the way, I'm Mohammad Shazin Reza, and it's just me actually. And you've been watching the 2022-2023 HoloLive GT3 Japan Series. We'll see you tomorrow for when we decide the ID Class Championship, the Piala HoloLive Indonesia in Sepang, round 9 of the season.